Hey, good morning everybody. Matt Zerby here from Wasco Nursery, coming to you on a kind of cloudy, misty morning, but I actually think we're in store for a really nice, cool late summer afternoon, and the weather has just been absolutely fantastic for getting yard work done, and our guys for planting trees and shrubs and doing our normal landscape stuff. But what I really wanted to talk to you today about is late summer color. One of the things that people commonly ask me at this time of year is, Matt, my yard's looking kind of tired, or, everything bloomed in the spring and early summer, but now there's no color in my yard. Is there anything other than mums that I can add to give my yard some color? And the answer is yes, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. And I should start off with the caveat that there's nothing wrong with mums. Mums are beautiful. We've got some really, really nice mums over there. I'll show you some more of that in just a minute. People ask me about mums all the time. Are mums perennials? And the answer is basically no. Around here, sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't, especially when they're fall planted. You're going to have a lower success rate with them. So with mums, I tell people, treat it like an annual. If they come back, awesome. If they don't, you're really not out anything because you went into it thinking that they were an annual anyway. So anyway, back to the story at hand. I brought some of my absolute favorite plants for late summer, or really for fall color and interest. And I'm going to go through those here in just a minute. We've got some grasses on this cart. I brought some of my favorites and some of my favorite perennials. These are good, tough, Illinois hardy plants that'll do great in your garden. Most of this stuff is for full sun, but we'll talk a little bit about shade stuff too. So I want to start off with this one right here. This is an aster called Purple Dome. It's a smaller aster. You may be familiar with our native asters, which can get 2, 3, even 4 feet tall. This is a nice variety that will bloom late in the year. You can see it's just starting to bud. I'll show you one nice open flower there, but this whole thing is going to get completely covered with flowers, and as the name suggests, it makes a nice purple dome or purple mound. So that is Purple Dome Aster, full sun, maybe 18-ish inches tall, kind of a shorter aster. All right. Next one here is absolutely one of my favorites. This is actually an Illinois native. This is called Helianthus, also known as a false sunflower. So you can kind of see where it gets that name sunflower from. This is a variety called Summer Sun. It is a full sun plant. These get rather tall. This particular variety, 36 to 48 inches. Some of our native ones get even taller than that. But just absolutely beautiful plant for the landscape. Very drought tolerant, very hardy. The bees and butterflies love it late in the year, so that's a really nice one. If you are looking for something a little bit shorter, I've got this sedum right here. This is called Bundle of Joy. This is a newer one from Proven Winners. It's part of their Rock and Grow collection. This is a tight little mound. You can kind of see here, from the pot to the top of the plant, that can't be more than about 5 inches right now. I would say generally speaking, it's maybe going to get about 8 inches tall. This is going to be, you can see it has a slight pink hue to it right now. These actually will open to pure white flowers. So it's this beautiful late fall mound of beautiful white flowers. Again, great for the bees, great for the butterflies. They love that late in the year. It's a fantastic border plant or front of the bed, or certainly rock garden, pond, waterfall, water feature, whatever. Looks great around rocks, but really a very nice border plant, and very, very easy to grow, very drought tolerant. So that's Bundle of Joy. A couple others here. This is a garden favorite. This is called Caryopteris, also known as blue mist shrub or blue mist plant. It's kind of a perennial, kind of a small shrub, but beautiful purple flowers late in the year. Again, butterfly and bee magnet, about 36 inches tall, full sun. Moving along here. This is Agastache. It's called, this particular one is called Blue Fortune. This is one of my favorites. Of course, you can't smell anything via Facebook video, but if you could stick your nose right up there and smell that, it smells like licorice. It's called anise hyssop is another name for it. So beautiful licorice fragrance to it. Gorgeous purple flowers. I have this at home in the garden. They're probably a solid 36 to 40 inches tall right now. It almost looks like a shrub, but it dies to the ground every year and comes right back. But it makes a, kind of a nice large mass. So that's a really, really nice one. Again, a favorite of the hummingbirds, the butterflies, and the bees. Perennial favorite, Black-Eyed Susan. Some people get a little bit dismayed with Black-Eyed Susans because they can get a rust disease around here, which would, on the foliage, you'd have blackish or brownish speckling all over the leaf, and it's very unsightly. This is a great variety called Viet's Little Susie. I'm going to show you the top there. Viet's Little Susie is resistant to that black spot disease. I don't think I've ever seen it on Viet's Little Susie. The old-fashioned variety that we have sold for a long time called Goldstrom gets it very bad, but Viet's Little Susie, clean as a whistle. One more sun plant. This is Heleneiam, also known as Helen's flower. This one is called Mariachi Siesta, which has that nice kind of rusty red colored, maybe a little bit of orange in there, flower. This is a shorter one, 24 inches tall. Great for the butterflies, great for the hummingbirds. Also obviously just has that really nice fall type, autumn color in it. Really nice hardy plant. And lastly, on the perennial cart, for those of you with a little bit more shade, this is a sun to partial shade plant called, this is called Wild Swan Anemone. Now we have a whole bunch of different anemones that we grow and sell. This particular is one of my favorites. I like a lot of them. I like September Charm. I like Henrine Jobert. Robotissima, which is just the grape leaf anemone, is always a good one. But Wild Swan gets these nice little flower buds, which are always cute. And then it opens to this flower, which is purple on the outside and kind of white with just a hint of purple on the inside. And then, of course, that really unique yellow center, which is really cool. Wild Swan I have at home. It blooms in mass really nicely starting in August, and it blooms all the way through September and well into October. And I would say on average in my yard, it probably blooms for sure for 60 days. And I would say a little longer than that, which is a pretty colorful for a perennial plant, which, sometimes only bloom for a few weeks or a month. I would say I get 2 months for sure and probably closer to 2.5 out of the Wild Swan Anemone. So a few of my favorite perennial plants. And then just moving quickly over here to the grasses. There's really too many grasses to name them all or to feature them all. I brought a few of my favorites over here. Again, I wish you could smell via Facebook, but this grass right here is called Prairie Dropseed. It's a native grass. This is its flower right here. It's also known as Spirabolus. But it has a really sweet fragrance to it. I couldn't even tell you what it smells like. It just has a really unique fragrance, and you can smell it. I can smell it from here. There's a whole bunch of it in front of where I park my car every day, and I smell it every time I get out of the car. Beautiful, sweet fragrance, awesome flowers, tough as nails, short, shaggy look to it. In the landscape, it stands up a little better than it does in the pot, but definitely has a more fountain-like habit to it. In the center there with a beautiful red color is a switchgrass called Cheyenne Sky. Also a native grass here, the switchgrasses, and that has a beautiful red color. It is very hardy. It's hard to see in the photos. I'll kind of put my hand behind it, but it has a nice little flower, open, airy flower up on top right now, giving it a nice kind of gentle look. If you're looking for something a little bit taller in the landscape, this is a grass called Big Bluestem, also known as a turkey's foot grass. You can kind of see why they call it turkey foot. This particular one, as the fall goes on, this is going to get more purple and more black throughout, so you can kind of see some of these stems with that nice purple color on there, but that's going to get even more purple as the fall goes on, almost a dark bluish black color. So really a neat one. This particular big blue stem is called Blackhawks. So great hockey team, great landscape grass. Right over here is purple moor grass. Another native plant, nice. This will actually turn a nice kind of purplish color as the fall goes on, but kind of a unique flower as well. And lastly, again, if you have shade at home, you should definitely try this plant. It's called Hakanakloa. It's also known as Japanese forest grass. This particular one is called All Gold, and it is absolutely one of my favorite landscape plants. Makes a great border plant. Nice kind of shaggy, natural look to it. Makes these big mounds about 24 inches across and about 12 to 18 inches tall. It does bloom in the fall, which has got that nice little flower on there. Mine at home, I have it mixed with hostas and a stilby and a hemlock in the background, and I just absolutely love the color. It looks great all season long. I will warn you that it is always a little bit late to come up in the springtime. So if you plant it, don't be dismayed that it died over the winter. Just give it a little more time. They tend to be very reliable once they get going, but it just may come up a little bit later. So just a few of my favorites. Of course, there's many more options, including our fall collection, cabbages and kales and Swiss chard, and many, many mums, pansies, baskets, you name it. So the moral of the story is, it's still planting season. There's still plenty of time to have a beautiful yard, to enhance your front porch, your deck, your patio, or just the landscape. If you have any questions about where you might find a spot in your yard for any of these, come on in, bring us some pictures, bring us some measurements. We'd be happy to help you out with that. Thanks for watching.